Secrets hidden in plain sight. Powers that move the world in the shadows. Questions no one dares to answer. Step beyond the Matrix. Subscribe.
I called it before it happened, and some of y'all got the nerve to say I was crazy. I bet you they won't be in the comments on this post.
So you can see there's nobody out there, right? Really nobody out there. Now watch what happens when I step outside. As soon as I step out, watch. Magically, the park is filled with people. Look. Look. And they all jogging now, all of a sudden. I just showed you outside, bro, before I came out. This is General. We ready? Let's go. Move on, Yeah.
What is this? We are out here in Arizona trying to figure out what is going on. We're gonna put see if we can get it dialed in with the phone. Oh, it's actually fire.
Oh wow. That's insane, dude. They're here. I don't know what else to say.
What in the world is that?
They're here and they're here.
Aliens.
It is 9/17, April 6th. Crazy.
The reptilians. It's a word I wasn't able to say for a really long time. I'm not gonna lie. Reptilians, they are 3D. I had a really bad vibe with them because of their deep manipulation within our planet, but there are good ones that are truly trying to do great things and rectify some of the crazy shit that has happened. 13 dark men from Orion, reptilians, big guys, scary guys, millions of years ago got into a massive battle with the Lyran. The Orion Wars occurred 10 to 12 million years ago. It was Draco and the Lyran. 50 million were slaughtered in this. Some of the seeding of our DNA had come from peace treaties and things. But ultimately, because of this battle, planets were destroyed. 3 Lyran planets. And refugees from this went off to seed the Pleiades, and the Syrians. We had a planet between us and Mars, and it was called Maldek, okay? And that planet was essentially Tiamat, which was the true matriarchy of the reptilians, a glorious cosmic being who was the true dragon queen, if you will. The dark motherfuckers from Orion ended up coming to that planet, and getting kicked off. I believe it almost makes me want to cry because it's so diabolically jacked up. But they got booted because they were being dicks. And when they came back, they blew that planet up. They blew it up. And it wasn't just a planet. Planets are consciousness. Dragon mother, Tiamat, she became that planet, Maldek, and they blew it up, okay? She became the asteroid belt that we have around us. I digress. But there's 4 types of reptilians. There's the subterranean that go underground and live in tunnels. There's the ones that jump through portals and do their things. There's the silver reptilian queen who guards portals and protects crystal grids. Some groups of reptilians have manipulated humanity for control and power through fear and division of God, separation from God. They may or may not have created some aspects of the religion that controls a lot of people's connection to God. Some groups are good and work to protect the crystal grids and the energy that fuels humanity. Biggest thing for me is discernment and fear. Fear not is a very, very valid statement. Take back your power. Send out your light beams. We are in an age of miracles, for it will take a miracle for humanity to get out of the illusion that we have been in. They feed off fear and lower vibrations. I'm gonna say that hawk that just almost flew into the garage agrees.
And what did Nikola Tesla say? If you can figure out the secrets of 3, 6, 9, then you can unlock the secrets of the universe. So what exactly does he mean, right? We figured out a pattern. We figured out what the numbers are. We figured out how they're missing. How can we fucking apply that? Well, how do you think? Let's start with something that we all use every day. We all have a clock, right? We all have time. It's something that it drives you every day. You look at your clock. You got to go to work. Is it time to leave work? How old am I? That clock, it's like the slave driver. But what if your clock is wrong? What if we've been going off the wrong time? Would that leave a way for people to, I don't know, time travel? Let's look at this for 2 seconds. We're used to a clock looking like this. 3, you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, everybody can agree that's what a clock would look like. But again, in vortex math, we have no double digits, right? There's no double digits. So in a clock, in theory, if we're using vortex math, this whole chunk of time does not even exist. We are using it, but it doesn't play out. We are actually like in dog years because 1 plus 0 is actually this. It's just 1. 11, you add 1 and 1 together, that's just actually 2. 12, that's just actually 3. So our clock should look different. Let's rearrange things just a little bit. Let's take this out. Let's put the 9 up at top. So we have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's what the clock should look like. A little triangle. Now let's do something really cool with it. What is 3 plus 3? Well, that's 6. All right. What's 6 plus 6? Well, that's 12. But remember, in vortex math, 12 would equal just 1 plus 2. So that's equal 3. So 6 comes back to 3. So what's this doing? The universe is just doing tick, tock. So the 9 is staying in one spot. We have time swinging back and forth.
None of them are real.
Neither is whoever you're talking to.
You're not real. You're not real.
What? You are? Is any of it real? I mean, look at this. Look at it! A world built on fantasy. Synthetic emotions in the form of pills. Psychological warfare in the form of advertising. Mind-altering chemicals in the form of food. Brainwashing seminars in the form of media. Isolated bubbles in the form of social networks. Real? You want to talk about reality? We haven't lived in anything remotely close to it since the turn of the century. We turned it off, took out the batteries, snacked on a bag of GMOs while we tossed the remnants in the ever-expanding dumpster of the human condition. We live in branded houses, trademarked by corporations, built on bipolar numbers, jumping up and down on digital displays, hypnotizing us into the biggest slumber mankind has ever seen. You have to dig pretty deep, kiddo, before you can find anything real. We live in a kingdom of bullshit. A kingdom you've lived in for far too long. So don't tell me about not being real. I'm no less real than the fucking beef patty in your Big Mac. As far as you're concerned, Elliot, I am very real. We are all together now, whether you like it or not.
They've literally trapped your star that was floating around in space. They've erased your memory like they do when you die and you go into the light. They recycle you and they erase your memory and place you back into an embryo. Listen to me, people. This is real shit. You need to wake the fuck up, okay? You're a star at your heart. You've been cubed, okay? Your kundalini is a trap. You're a free energy machine and you can't detect it. Now you're forced to take a shit, get horny, get hungry, get a pain in your heart, a frog in your throat. Your feet, where your souls are, okay? 2 below you, 3 above you. Listen, you can put this shit together, people. They rub a lot of stuff in your faces called lesser magic. It takes your blood off of their hands, all right? You've been worshiping Saturn along with everybody else. You take your energy from the one true sun and plant an animal, and then you feed it directly to the black hole sun. That's all you do, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You breathe Satan's chemical air. You drink his fluoridated water. You eat his poison-rich foods. And when I say Satan, I mean Saturn. Saturn is, obviously, there's a cult on Earth, and they've got us all worshiping Saturn.
This has been in here this whole time. Watch this.
Christmas is tomorrow, and there's still no snow.
Well, you know, Arthur, no one actually knows what day Jesus was born on. The holiday is in December probably because that's when the Romans celebrated the winter solstice, and most likely they adopted that tradition from the Babylonians.
I don't care! I still want snow!
And to get a better understanding on what Arthur was speaking of in that show, watch this.
David, who says, we have friends who do not celebrate Christmas because they say December 25th is really a pagan holiday. While I agree that Jesus may not have been born on December 25th, he certainly was born as described in the Bible. How do I respond to them?
Well, in a sense, tell them they're right. You see, the winter solstice a couple of days later was the shortest day of the year, and the pagans had something called Saturnalia. And it was a time of lawlessness because all the laws were suspended. And people, a bunch of singers actually wandered the streets naked singing. And then they had orgies, sexual orgies. It was a mass thing. Well, when the Catholic Church came along in Italy, the Romans and others didn't want to give up their holidays. So they said, okay, we'll Christianize it. And so they said, okay, we'll say the birth of Jesus was the 25th of December. And then there was a monk who began to add it up. You see, if you read in Luke, it says there's a census taken when Quirinius was governor and so forth and so on. And they could take those leaders and figure the exact time dating from the foundation of Rome. And that's when the dates were established. And so they get pretty close to the date. But to say it's the 25th, shepherds were out abiding in the field. It gets a little cold at night. I mean, were they out there in the middle of winter? You know, I don't know. I've been out there on the shepherd's field on Christmas Eve. It's very nice. But it's cold. And nevertheless, I mean, what was going on? So all this business about mistletoe, pagan. Christmas trees, pagan. Giving out gifts, pagan. Every bit of it is pagan.
This video came out in 1980.
Watch out for 666. In a vision of the future, I saw in a vision
If that video isn't predictive programming, then I don't know what is. The reason they do this is so that your subconscious mind is aware of these things. If they never showed you these things in the movies and through videos like that, your subconscious mind would reject it when it came up in reality. So they get you used to it, they drop gems, little bits of information about it before it happens, so that your subconscious mind is some formal way aware of it.
I can't believe I have to share a planet, or worse, be related to certain people. Ever since I spiritually awakened to this entire fuck-ass matrix and decided to articulate my own authentic individual opinions outside of what they brainwashed us into believing, I have completely lost so many friends and family in my life. I've come to realize that there are certain people that the only thing I have in common with them is DNA. Other than that, if I wasn't related to them, I hate to say it, I would not affiliate or talk to them, ever. Tell me why, and I'm not kidding by the way guys. Tell me why I am related to people who still think the Epstein files, 9/11 being an inside job, Bill Gates funding depopulation tactics are all conspiracy theories in this day and age. I have family members who have told me, well, if that were true, it would be all over the news. Where are you getting your sources from? Fox News? I've had to cut family members off on my Argentinian side that are pro-Israel. Yeah, no joke. Like, holy fucking shit, there's no way you people are real. This really goes to show that even with the truth exposed to the world, there are still people that still don't want to believe the truth, even when it's right in their face. They would rather still believe a beautiful lie than the brutal dark truth. I said the world was ran by pedophiles that drink babies' blood and that our tax dollars are funding pedophile rings. That's a conspiracy theory. That's a conspiracy theory. Let's trace this back to the absolute root of why human consciousness gets stuck in this terminal state of denial. The Matrix doesn't just control governments. It completely colonizes the minds of the people around us. When a person spends their entire life looking to a screen, an authority figure, a politician, an AI chat box, or a legacy news anchor to tell them what reality is, their brain literally loses the ability to process raw data. They develop a psychological dependency on the consensus. To them, if an uncomfortable truth is not validated by the very institutions that are hiding it, it simply doesn't exist. It's a mechanism of sheer survival for their fragile ego. To admit that the news is lying to them means admitting that they have been fooled and lied to their entire lives, and most people lack the internal spine to face that level of humiliation. This is why they lash out at the people who actually awaken or wake up. When you stand up and speak your individual truth outside of their program parameters, you become an active threat to their comfortable delusion. They don't see your perspective as a different point of view. They see it as an attack on their safety. So they rely on the exact scripts they were handed. They call you a conspiracy theorist. They mock your sources. They ask if you're getting your information from some corporate mainstream opposition like Fox News, completely blind to the irony that they are trapped in the exact same binary trap. They are terrified of being socially outcasted by the system, so they become the volunteer police force for the prison itself. The brutal reality we have to accept is that bloodline does not equal soul alignment. Just because you share genetic material with somebody does not mean they possess the spiritual capacity to see past the curtain. Forcing yourself to maintain connections with people who are actively rooting for the machine, funding devastation, or justifying the mass slaughter of human beings halfway across the world or in our daily lives just because they are family is a form of self-sabotage. It is an energetic drain that keeps you anchored to the lower frequencies of this matrix. Do not spend your life force trying to drag these people out of the dark. You can't fix a mind that is actively in love with its own captivity. The solution is radical detachment. You have to mourn the relationship you thought you had, accept the cold truth that they are operating as a completely different biological species on a consciousness level, and build your own tribe based on shared truth and frequency, not just DNA. Stop expecting blind people to see the light. Protect your peace without apology, and let the sleepers sleep while you continue to...
What are things that are just no-nos to you?
Fragrance is the first one that comes to mind. It's a blanket term protected by the FDA as a trade secret, so companies don't have to disclose what's in their fragrance, but it can contain up to 3,000 different ingredients. And the EPA actually did a study, and they found that 72% of what's in fragrance is hormone-disrupting phthalates. And so phthalates are what drives the scent deeper into your skin, and it also is it's what makes fragrance stick to you. So if you've ever been like in a house with Glade plugins or in a bathroom that's heavily scented, and then you leave and you still smell like that space, that's because of the phthalates. They're just getting in there, getting into your system.
There's one chemical that's reducing sperm counts more than any, and it's phthalates. And phthalates are in fragrances. They're in our colognes, they're in our perfumes, they're in our laundry detergents, they're in our air fresheners. It's the #1 toxin.
you can see what chemicals do to a plant, a natural flower. When you're spraying perfume on a leaf, it dies. Here's what happens in your own body. One, these chemicals, they are endocrine disruptors. So they're going to increase your risk of issues like breast cancer. Also, they're going to throw off your other hormones, leading to infertility. In fact, these chemicals have been linked in medical studies to low testosterone in men and imbalanced estrogen and progesterone in women. Also, it's going to be linked to allergic reactions and autoimmune disease. It disrupts the gut microbiome. It disrupts the lungs, affecting your immune system. If you want to be as healthy as possible and balance your hormones, you've got to get rid of the parabens, the phthalates, get the chemicals out of your house, stop using those fragrances.
Chanel No. 5 is made from the sweat of whipped male Abyssinian cats. I kid you not, and this even produced protests some years ago, animal rights groups, about how we should not be perfuming ourselves with the sweat of whipped male Abyssinian cats. Suddenly, along come synthetic perfumes, and the majority of them are made of synthetic versions of androgens. Perfume is made up of all sorts of breakdown products of male sweat. Isn't perfume supposed to like smell good to guys? The vast majority of perfumes are not purchased by men. The vast majority are purchased by women. In other words, most of the marketing decisions about what to stick in your perfumes are being marketed for people who are going to decide if it's appealing or not, people who have lots of estrogen in their bloodstream rather than androgens. That is thought to be the explanation for how it is that most perfumes are derived from male pheromones.
90% of the nervous system is in the gut, and this is why all of these chemicals keeping you in fight or flight mode or survival mode. Stay away from air fresheners. They contain fragrance, and fragrance can be up to 10,000 different toxic synthetic chemicals. This will disrupt hormones and can potentially cause lung damage over time.
So you mean to tell me the government was using 23andMe to get people DNA to see if we are connected to aliens? So they believe we have alien bloodlines. I think 23andMe went out of business. So what did they do with the DNA? At this point, this shit just sound like a sci-fi movie. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. Remember they said the Anunnaki came here to mine for gold because their atmosphere was dying? The Anunnaki means those who came from the heavens. They can be anybody. If you had a spacecraft and you came here on this planet, you are considered Anunnaki. But every time this story come up, they say, shit, they needed our blood to fix their atmosphere. No. They wasn't talking about this gold. These aliens came here for the gold inside of our body, which is plasma. Why do you think they have so many blood banks around the world? You ever notice when you watch Hollywood movies, they always show vampires drinking the red blood? But that's a big ass lie because they want the gold blood, the plasma. These aliens understand that our blood is connected to the sun, which is plasma. They will do anything to take our plasma. This is the same reason why they gave us plasma TV, plasma cell phones, plasma laptop. This ain't nothing but a trap to steal your plasma. So many people are walking around not even knowing that they're from a different planet, a different star constellation. But guess what? The people that set up these laboratories, they understand who you are. They track and watch everything you do because they understand once these aliens start coming back, you might be one of the ones that can talk to them. These aliens might come and see you. They might start telling you shit to activate your memories. So next time you hear the story about how these aliens needed gold because their atmosphere was dying, it is true. They are dying. And the only thing that can keep them alive is our plasma, our blood. Please don't forget that Steven Spielberg UFO movie is coming out really soon. The reason why they want our blood is pretty simple. The stories of our ancestors live in our plasma, which is connected to the sun. Why do you think they trying to block out the sun?
That's why they wear the mourning robes. It's the Grim Reaper of the streets. The black robes. Yeah, it's the same one as the Grim Reaper, right? They wear the same robes, right? Right. Because you're dead. All rise. You just paid bail. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, that's religion, man. We talk about cults. The biggest cult is the United States government. Who else is running around wearing Grim Reaper suits? Call them mourning robe. Mourning means state of sadness. And this morning, because that's what y'all call it, I don't never call it mourning because mourning is a state of sadness. You had to wake up, right? Right. Wake is when you go to a funeral, ain't it? Yeah. So you woke up dead already. That's why you woke up this morning. Okay, that's your religion. That's your religion. So you die every day. You just don't know it. When you go to sleep, you're dead. When you reawaken, it's called breakfast because you just was fasting, breaking fast. That makes sense. You was dead. You fasted. You was dead.
First off, I don't know how many times I need to tell y'all that y'all better start figuring out what to do with all of this extra time that's about to be forced upon our society. Because one of the most deadly sin in Babylon was sitting with an idle mind. I want you to listen to this interview that I just literally witnessed and listened to. That not only made me more motivated to speak the language that I speak and create the actions and plans and manifestations that I actually do to help people have a better relationship with money. Watch this, and I'll be right back.
What would you say to those people? What should they be doing with their lives? Should they be retraining in something or
listen to his answer?
So that's the paradigm shift here. Before we always said this job is going to be automated, retrained to do this other job. But if I'm telling you that all jobs will be automated, then there is no plan B. You cannot retrain.
Wow.
Look at computer science. 2 years ago, we told people, learn to code. You are an artist, you cannot make money, learn to code. Then we realized, oh, AI kind of knows how to code and getting better. Become a prompt engineer. You can engineer prompts for AIs. It's going to be a great job. Get a 4-year degree in it. But then we're like, AI is way better at designing prompts for other AIs than any human. So that's gone. So I can't really tell you right now the hottest thing is design AI agents for practical applications. I guarantee you in a year or two, it's going to be gone just as well. So I don't think there is this occupation needs to learn to do this instead. I think it's more like we as a humanity, then we all lose our jobs. What do we do? What do we do financially? Who's paying for us? And what do we do in terms of meaning? What do I do with my extra 60, 80 hours a week?
You've thought around this corner, haven't you?
A little bit.
What is around that corner, in your view?
So the economic part seems easy. If you create a lot of free labor, you have a lot of free wealth, abundance, things which are right now not very affordable become dirt cheap, and so you can provide for everyone basic needs.
Right, which would be a universal basic income, and that's what Elon Musk and all these other guys who are on the cutting edge of developing this stuff or have already developed this and leading the charge on this. This is what their solution is a universal basic income. Now let's think about this for a second. So you've got a whole generation out here of young people that when they start catching on that from guys like this, there's no hope for our future. Why do we need to go to college? Why do we need to get a degree? Why do we need to spend all this time and money to get educated only for AI to take my job? So watch this. So then when you get, let's talk about the political aspect of this. So you know what this is going to set the stage for? They are going to embrace socialism.
Now, I know y'all heard that. And here it is, going on 7 years. I'm using a platform with over 163,000 organic followers. Don't let these individuals jumping up 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. This is paid following, just with AI algorithms. So they're grabbing real people and just dumping them on your page. I'm talking 163 real followers. 163,000, that is. I'm telling y'all, you better start learning how to diversify your energy, your time, and your finances. Because if you don't know how to diversify your energy, you're going to be too fucking tired, too stressed out, too depressed, too worried, too literally like skeptical about any and everything that is coming your way. Every good opportunity is going to pass right by your eyes because of all of these different things. And if you don't know how to 100% be responsible for your time, idle mind is a devil workshop. And the last thing you want to do is have a whole bunch of time with zero intentions and zero guidance. And that's what we're going in today. And the last but not least, if you don't know what to do with your money, you got a horrible relationship with money and you do not know how to transition, you will have nothing, you will own nothing, and you will love it. I got so many people in my DM saying, yo, Mr. H, put me on game. Yo, Mr. H, show me how to day trade. Yo, Mr. H, I want to learn. Thousands of y'all are in there. And I gave y'all my number, every last one of y'all. I gave y'all my number. But you're too scared to reach out, you see? You think it's a scam. You think it's AI. You think it's an automated text. What else does an individual got to do to get you guys to start understanding that you don't got unlimited time? You don't have unlimited time. So while you sitting around here procrastinating, sitting here literally dwelling in your mess versus creating opportunities, like taking risks into opportunities that will literally change your situation. And the only way to change your financial situation is to create a better skill financially. The only way to start basically being more responsible for your time is to literally have better skills that you spend more time in enhancing them. And therefore your energy will increase because you get excited about the future because you start understanding that I'm learning a skill that is going to financially change my life. I'm spending all my time trying to learn this skill and it's benefiting me because one thing I know about us, the more and more we spend time on something, the better we get at it. And the more and more you spend time in the financial market and start understanding these moves that everybody is going in and coming out and making money on and not basically literally tripping on all of the society saying, what if a blackouts happen? What if the government is going to control it? Well, I'm not like, listen, what are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? So if you got kids in today's society that are 25, 26 and lost in the sauce, 30, 31, lost in the sauce, still depending on you, I'm telling you, imagine when your situation get fucked up. So here's the question. For the individuals that is responsible for lending money to the people that are in your family that is financially not as well off as you, you're responsible because they come to you and start asking you for money. So if you're that person that is responsible for that activity in your bloodline, imagine when your money get fucked up. What you gonna do when your money get fucked up? So I'm here to tell you, you better start gaining a skill and putting all of those individuals on game so everybody can start leveling up into this new system and everybody got a fair chance. So I'm going to say it again. I educate and lead the #1 day trading organization in North America and by far on the globe, hands down. I got everybody in my DMs trying to want to know, how did I learn? I learned from my homeboy, Mr. Alex Lugo. Mr. Alex Lugo. We run OBG, which is the #1 day trading organization on the game. And I'm talking hands down the best learning academy that you ever going to basically be literally put yourself into. I'm telling you straight up. Do you have to come over here and do some multi-level marketing? Absolutely not. Do I do multi-level marketing? Absolutely yes. Why? Because I have 163,000 followers that I can lead the proper way. But you know what they say? You can take them to the water, but you can't make them drink. You can open up the book, but you can't make them think. So I'm telling y'all, the best solution for you or your children is to be over here getting educated and getting literally shown what to do, like Simon says, in the financial markets, in the option markets, in the crypto market, in the stocks market, right here, right now. Because it's never too late to start something that you plan on doing forever. Deuces, beautiful people. Like, share, drop your comments for more. But I'm telling you, you better start learning what to do with that time, that energy, and your money. Deuces.
They're activating right now. How serious are you really? You will quickly say, if somebody come over here and do this, yeah, rah, rah, rah. White people would respect us more if we check them when they disrespect us. It's over with. Some of us ain't with that. Call her that and see what we do. Jump on my brother and see what happened to you. And mean it. But don't do it when it's just selected. Don't just do it when it's one person. This white supremacist got a semi-automatic rifle blatantly let you know, yeah, I'm a fascist, I'm a white supremacist. I did this because I hate niggas. And he said he was inspired by the other white supremacists because I don't want to be bred out of existence. I don't want y'all to replace us. Well, damn. What does that mean? You don't want us to replace you in this world. We shouldn't want this world anyway. You want this government that allows pedophilia, that allows sex trafficking, that allows organ trafficking of your children, that allows your women to be murdered, raped. There's over 75,000 black women still missing and you ain't doing shit about it. You want this world. Why don't you build your own? That's what we should be doing. I don't want this. This is a sick as hell world that is hell itself. I don't want that. I want my own. That's how we really do this. And if they see us building our own, as many of us are doing in certain areas, it's happening. And we securing it, we're protecting it. That's how you really get their attention. That's how you really defeat this system. Well, now I'm not saying be afraid of nobody. No, be ready to defend yourself whenever, where. Be ready to defend yourself. But that means you may have to smoke a little less. You may have to drink a little less. You may have to start getting your rest. You may have to start eating better, exercising and really training them, like I said, martial arts, boxing, etc. For real, if you want to go there, it's like, all right, you want to talk, let's talk. Those of us who are involved in helping the people, we think of it on that type of layer. It ain't just react. They want you to react. They know you are well within your rights to react, but you're not prepared. They prepared. That's why they do what they do. I'ma smack that right now. I know he gonna get mad and haul off and punch me, but the camera was off when I slapped him. The camera gonna turn on when he punched me. They're going to jail. Gotcha. We gotta study, bro. Study history. People who study their history are the most intelligent people on the planet because they know patterns and they know how to get around them. I know there's gonna be another shooting by a white supremacist. Why? Because they have continued to do it and they have not been given the proper response. They have been shot by the police on sight like they do with every black man who has a gun or not even have a gun. They have not been given the proper sentence. The people have not responded properly. White folks in major areas have not condemned them and raked them over the coals and this is horrible, you're a devil, you ain't never. So until then, it's gonna keep happening. Simple, because they laughing at us. Right. But I'm looking like, all right, what needs to happen? Community patrol. Start a community watch, find out who's qualified, hire the former military veterans, hire the brothers with security companies, those who are qualified, find out the locations that need jobs, put up $100,000. Let the community put in a pot once a month, community watch support. Everybody in the neighborhood. Now you got safety. You protecting yourself. You investing in yourself. The reaction has to be, oh, y'all gonna do that? All right, we're gonna organize and start taking ourselves seriously. Stop showing dissension in the ranks, division in public. No soldier in his own army attacks one another on the enemy's playing field. You look crazy as hell. Your enemy right there coming at you, you start arguing with him. You're in a war right now.